I don't have a viewing. See, look, the view is off.
Why?
I don't know. It did that last time. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to the channel. Hopefully you can see something. Chanel, can you check your Twitch just to make sure it looks okay? You know what I mean?
Here, let me look.
So yeah, we have no preview currently. That
Wow.
happened last time, and there
You
was
started
no.
at 111.
That's weird.
That's really crazy.
It's really creepy. Okay, I'm pretty sure audio is good. I think people can hear us because I see the audio bouncing back and forth. So, we're going to have a couple of different topic chats today. We're gonna start with. I went live on Instagram last night, and I chatted about doing a stream on Twitch last night, and I didn't end up having time to do it because I had to pick up Kat, and I was working. So I thought, it'd probably be best to have Kat in on part of this chat anyway. Is it good?
Okay, yeah, we're good.
So you just can't, I can't see myself. It's fine. So the first part of the chat is going to be kind of lessons that we've learned. Chanel will be a part of this too, so she's more than welcome to chime in. I'm also going to talk about something people have wanted me to chat about, which was Zach's new location that he purchased here in Vegas. I got to go on a private investigation with him and a very small group of people, so I'm going to talk about that in January. And the last thing we're going to talk about is Chanel, the topic of dun dun dun, the Illuminati, which is her chosen topic. So I'm going to bring in Shanae right now. Shanae, how are you?
Good. How are you guys?
Yes.
Hi.
I know we missed Chanel. She's in Pennsylvania. She decided not to come out because she didn't want to work. Right?
No.
she was
We
like,
love you.
I don't want to work like a dog, like Chanel and Kat. So I'm going to stay in Pennsylvania by myself. She's the smart one, right?
God. Dead.
How are you, Shanae?
Pretty good, just chilling.
Yep.
Not working.
Not working. She is excited about it.
I can hear.
I can tell. She's
Oh my
fine.
God.
Okay. So, Chanel, you're more than welcome to chime in on parts of this. We don't want to make this too long. But there's some lessons that we've learned. I have a list, okay? There's a
wrote
list.
out a list.
It's literally a list. Kat helped me this morning. So, I'm going to back up with a couple of, my biggest lessons that I have here. Number one is... And the purpose of this chat is I've had so many people messaging me on private messenger on all of my social media saying, how much have you grown in the last year and a half that you left YouTube, right? So I left YouTube in March of 2018. So it's been a year and 6 months, right? Mm-hmm. That's the math I've done. And then Chanel kind of came out of the woodwork. She was the first one to sort of find me on Instagram, and I was like, that's who we're going with. Chanel was it. And here we are. I think we've all grown in our own ways, though, don't you?
I agree.
I mean,
We have.
I feel like you have to grow, though. That's part of the whole butterfly concept of changing and morphing.
Every journey is different.
Yeah.
Every journey is different, and it's been such a remarkable experience to, not only personally grow, but see your close peers and your friends grow, and that's just such an emotional and just really amazing experience. So despite the little bumps in the road that have been going on, things have actually been really beneficial.
Yeah.
And, learning. You learn
I
as you
agree.
go.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Chanel has really gained confidence in her character as a person. Of course, she's 20. She found me at 20.
Mm-hmm.
Then turned 21, and now she's 22, right? And so, just Chanel's grown a lot, but I feel like that is the age of growth. Mm-hmm. Throwback to my youth when I was 20.
She's still young. She's still young.
I'm still 5, really. I'm just 5. So it's fine. But, yeah, Chanel's had a lot of growth, but she's at that age for growth. But Chanel has become very confident, I think, in just herself as an overall person and putting people in jars. She's never felt more confident.
Yes. That's all we have with us. Anytime we're around Chanel, we just have mason jars at the ready.
Yeah, we just make sure she's
and
prepared.
She just pulls it out of her backpack whenever we're in public to get ready, and we go to excuse ourselves to the bathroom while she does her seance, and there's a whole moment. So it's fine. We're also kind of not kidding. So
we're kidding and not kidding all at the same time. No one will ever know. I'm just kidding. She's not that dark. She is sometimes, but not always.
We're digging ourselves a deep
I know. I feel
now,
like we should just move on to the topic.
We're just gonna move on.
It's time to just keep going. I love how Chanel's just like
just
darkly laughing in the corner, like.
She's just like, it's fine.
Oh man. Okay. And by the way, I feel like we should talk about lessons with the pilot too. Now that the pilot's done and cut, and like what we've experienced learning watching each other.
Krystal's eyes twitching as this conversation's happening.
Okay.
She's going loopy.
So first of all, and most of these lessons we've each learned, we're sure to always talk, communicate to each other. Like, Chanel, what did you learn out of this? Kat, what did you learn out of this? Because the three of us always seem to pull something different out of like a bad traumatic experience and say, you know what, this is what we learned from it. But isn't that what failures and traumatic experiences are? You have to learn from them.
Yeah, I mean, you have to be uncomfortable in order to grow.
Yeah.
You have to go through those moments.
So a year and a half ago, the very first lesson that I had was hiring personal assistants. And in the past, I got lucky and spoiled through production companies because they hired personal assistants for me. And most of the time, these personal assistants were people that wanted to work their way up in the totem pole. Like you have to start at the bottom, work your way up. And because of that, because they're willing to claw their way to the top, I would say through a production company, they're usually really, really reputable and safe.
Yep.
Is the only term that I can say. Because when you're talking about a personal assistant, it's somebody that is like learning and seeing your personal finances.
Everything.
Business finances, like everything. Like the things I can't do, I have to pawn off to this person because I have so many other things to do. And with the lesson of hiring and firing a couple of personal assistants, even if you run a background check on someone, you still can't be too careful.
Yep.
And those people can still do you wrong, unfortunately. And so I don't know how you find a good personal assistant, other than maybe word of mouth of someone that worked for them that you knew personally or something like that. But I definitely learned the lesson with that of not to just trust anybody, not to just trust somebody because they can really do you wrong. And that can be dangerous in the end because there's a lot of money involved when doing a production, and that scared the crap out of me. So that was a really huge lesson for me.
I think part of that too, just to kind of piggyback on that, is we always want to give people the benefit of the doubt. I think that's a person's natural instinct, is to just be kind and really give this person a chance or these people a chance. And the other side of that, though, is learning to trust your gut, trust your intuition, because if there's something off or something said that you're feeling a little bit weird about, that's the universe or your guides intervening, saying you need to be careful with this, or there's a reason for this. And 9 times out of 10, every time we've had that feeling, or Krystal's had that feeling, something's gone down that has been a major red flag to where, we've had to let people go, unfortunately. And, it is the nature of the beast. It's a process, as a production company and a crew, like we are all growing and learning throughout this process. But this has been the most eye-opening experience, this, at least from when I was hired a little over a year ago now, about learning to trust your intuition, because it is always correct. Always correct.
Chanel has had really big gut vibes, though, about people.
She has.
Have you, even before you and I?
Yep.
She has called a lot of the people out before they were, like, fired or quit. Actually, I think every single one. Literally. Chanel.
Every time.
I mean, don't you think, Chanel? Like, you have. Think about it.
Yep.
Like, think back. You've always come to Kat and I, you've said something like, I have this weird feeling about this person, and this is it.
Yeah. Well, and it's been great to watch her grow, too.
It
because you've been communicating a lot, and with that comes these experiences of you just talking out your feelings, and we're like, holy crap, we all feel the same way,
What's the gut feeling that you would get, Chanel, when you came to Kat and I? Like, can you explain to us where it comes from and why?
Like about the people, or in
Yeah,
general?
well, like, there's been some people that I've, like, boosted up on, like, different, I've given them, what is it called? Not raises. There's no budget yet. I like boost them up from, like, social media manager to this or whatever. My brain's gone.
Yep.
I just did it to Kat. Now her brain's gone.
I'm pathing off Krystal, apparently.
When you give them, when I've said promotion, when I've promoted people, and then Chanel comes to us and says, "Oh, I don't think you should have done that. I have this weird feeling." Explain that kind of sense that you go through.
Okay, so it's interesting because I think so I believe completely that our world is super, you know, connected to energies. And I think when you have people who are not who they present themselves to be, when you decide to involve them into your whatever it is that you're doing, into your space, into your circle, whatever, and when that person is surrounded by people like ourselves who do try to be as authentic and present ourselves in a way that is authentic as possible, I think that because of that energy, they aren't used to it. So they are essentially, um, they can't hide. They can't continue to
Put like a mask on type of
mask.
thing.
They can't continue to mask who they really are. So I guess it's just something that I've always sort of picked up on since a young age with people, but it's become to the point where obviously I'm learning to speak up about it now.
Well, you've always
So
spoke up about it. Maybe not initially. It might have taken you time, but I feel like you feel that gut feeling, and then Chanel comes out and she's like, she'll call Kat or she'll call me and she'll be like, I have this weird feeling and I just want you guys to know. And then it's weird because it's, you know, even though you have a weird feeling, initially Kat and I can't just let somebody go because Chanel has a feeling.
Right.
But months later something happens and we're like, wow, Chanel kind of called that, you know. And piggybacking on to what Chanel said, which is another huge lesson that we didn't even write down on here, and you both will agree on this one, is we have had issues over and over and over again with people that I hire fanning out over me.
Yeah, they have a fan moment.
And I'm sitting here like, I'm not that cool, okay? Like, I'm just not that cool. I'm really nerdy and dweeby and just like, I'm not that great. I literally work like 18 hours a day.
Right.
I'm not the funnest person to be friends with, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, Kat's always like, oh, I'm at a barbecue. I'm doing this. What are you doing? Working.
Yeah.
Like, literally. So, yeah, we have, though. We've had this thing over and over, haven't we, guys, of, like, people fanning out over me, which I'm flattered by the way. Like, absolutely. But I'm also trying to run a business here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Chanel, you've caught that before anything, I feel like, because you were, like, the very first person that I brought in. And as that person, you've never acted fanatic over it. I think we just got along regardless of having, like, a paranormal common, base of growing up with the paranormal. But you've always seen people acting strangely around me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's weird because when just like being an observer and just observing how people are just around you, it's like you see the switch, and it's like, is this person really going to work out? Because obviously, going back to the gut feeling, it usually doesn't. Once that happens.
Well, you and Kat have also ran meetings without me, and Kat brought this up to me, and Chanel, I think, had pointed out to Kat, and then Kat brought it up, which was when you guys have ran meetings without me in the past, employees will act one way when I'm not there. And then when I come in, they act differently. And you both come to me and you're like, so I have an issue here, and we don't know what's going on. And it's really weird because they'll act. What's the difference? Do you have like an example of like, are they more eccentric without me there, like authentic? And then when I come in, they get kind of quiet, right?
Yeah, it's very different. It's polar opposite. It's polar opposite. It's like, yes, I'm an employee working with Krystal, or, I'm part of the crew. And then when you're not there, it's like, there's just no established anything, no remarks or anything like that. It's just...
They don't want to speak up. They're quiet.
Want to speak up.
Which causes issues, which causes a lot of issues. And I'll talk about this EP one last. I feel like that should be last. The second one is micromanaging, which is here.
Yep.
I don't like micromanagers. And to be honest, there's a lot of micromanagers in film. And I learned how to be a producer under micromanagers at some of the bigger production companies. And that's why I hate micromanagers. Because I don't think you can build a good crew, and how I've taught you guys, a family-based crew, micromanaging. I can't stand it when people are like, Kat, you folded that piece of paper wrong. Because I'm like, who cares? I don't have time for that piece of paper anyways. You know what I mean? But with that lesson, there was a person that was micromanaging that was involved with me in the very beginning when I left YouTube. And this person one of the things they did teach me was to appreciate employees. Meaning that although they were micromanaging whatever you do, like Kat will text me, like I did social media for the week, and I'm like, I appreciate you. I appreciate what you've done. So I did learn a lesson out of that. So that was a huge lesson for me. But I also learned having someone working for me that was micromanaging everybody, sort of like pulling the strings of a symphony. I can't stand that. I'm not a micromanager kind of person. I always tell Kat, this needs to get done by this date. You can get it done tomorrow or in 2 weeks. As long as it gets done, I don't care.
Right.
Where micromanagers be like, it has to be done by 4 o'clock. And I can't stand that because I've worked for people like that. So I'm not a micromanager. But I also think that goes into like the self-discipline thing.
It does. Well, you have to be able to trust these people, too. You know what I mean? When you give them a deadline, you're not being super strict. You're being really fluid. You're trusting that they're going to get it done in time. And that's also really great if you can keep up with that.
Right.
But
the third lesson, which is up here, is these are lessons we've learned from people that we've hired, fired, and quit, basically. The third lesson would be when people have gut instincts and they don't speak out about them, or when people know something wrong is going on. For example, someone that I had hired knew someone else was planning on embezzling from the company, and they didn't speak out about it. Instead, they kept it to themselves. That's not okay. You know, like if I'm getting embezzled from, or the company's getting embezzled from, that's affecting everybody involved, not just me. So everyone should be raising a red flag and concern. And also, when employees talk to ex-employees without informing me, I don't have rules against that. I don't care if, you guys talk to someone that we've let go. But I do expect you to be honest with me and say, I'm still friends with X. And then at least I know. I just feel like I need to be a part of that conversation.
Well, communication is really important in anything in life. And, it's not a rule, but it's definitely important because, you need to have open communication in order to have honest interaction with people, you know?
Oh, man. Number 4 is a rough one.
Oh, geez.
Number 4 is...
we've talked about this one
before.
Yeah.
I hired somebody that was supposed to be a big part of the series that started messaging celebrities in the paranormal field. You guys know who this is.
Yeah.
Look at Chanel's face.
Yeah.
And I mean, I was pretty honest with you guys about not doing that, right, from the beginning. That, like, we are females and we need to hold ourselves to a certain standard. That just because you're known with GGD doesn't mean you should be using that with ends for other famous people that I know in particular, right? And so...
Well, we're an extension of the business. I feel like this shouldn't even be a conversation, but it legit happened. And anything we do or post or, anything like that is an extension of Ghost Girl Diaries. It's not just us as individuals. And I feel like, because you've been so open and trustworthy of these people that, people take it as a misconstrued information saying I can do what I want. And that's not it. That's not the case. It's part of self-discipline, controlling yourself, understanding you are part of a business, an establishment. So... It's been interesting to watch.
Chanel, sure. I know you're bursting at the seams, so go ahead and add your 2 cents. I can just smell it. I sense it. I love how she gets quiet first.
Yeah. It's usually how it starts.
It's when you know it's going to be good.
And it's also, like, it's also, it goes back to the fangirling thing too.
Yes, that's true.
It's like if you can't hold yourself to a certain standard, like you had mentioned, then can you hold yourself to a certain standard once we are at a higher, level? Once we've been doing this for a period of time, because from my perspective, I've worked on different sets and things like that, and I've been around different celebrities and people, and you have to hold yourself back in a certain way. And if you're like freaking out and saying like, "Oh, can I do this or that or which, whatever," it kind of paints you in an unprofessional light
And
a little
desperate
bit
a little bit too.
Wow.
because
I just had like
yeah,
a deja vu.
yeah.
Did you?
So
I just had a really
it's
bad deja vu.
unfortunate
This is
because
weird.
now
Sorry,
really
continue. Sorry.
Yeah, she had a zone out moment. I was looking over at her and she was like gone. She like checked
Literally
out.
had this happen before. Like, this is weird.
That's
That
weird.
was
So
really
it
weird.
means you're in the right place at the right time. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Keep going, Shanae. Sorry.
Sorry.
um, well, I also think that, like you said, how we're an extension of the company. It makes us kind of look, not only that person look desperate, but also, makes us kind of look like, are we just in this for, being associated with other
Yep.
people that are
And that became
famous.
extremely visual at, once the end of the game happened.
I think that was out of everything I went through, that was the thing that pissed me off the most, to be honest, because it's taken me years to develop professional contacts and friends. I mean, some of these contacts are not just networking contacts; they're friends. And for somebody to reach out inappropriately, unprofessionally, and then on top of that, do it for the purpose of trying to date someone, right? That was essentially what it was. It wasn't like this person was trying to reach out to, oh, I'd love to get working with this company or be working with this person or whatever. It was, I would like to date this person. That, I feel sick. I literally get nauseous from it because it's just like, I've been doing this a lot longer than any of you guys have been. And to build all that up, and the more embarrassing part was an executive producer messaged me about it, saying one of your employees is contacting one of my employees, trying to date this person, and essentially harassing and stalking under the name of Ghost Girl Diaries. And I was mortified. Because once again, this isn't something I didn't talk about, right? Like, this isn't something we didn't bring up and discuss regarding professional, right?
Yep.
Being professional. So that was a hard lesson, and I don't think we could have avoided it other than just going through it and dealing with it.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
It's true. All lessons.
All lessons. Number 5. Oh, Jesus.
I
Producers.
think,
Oh, yeah, go ahead, Shanae.
I think that it's just mentioned real quick. It's one thing to message someone asking questions pertaining to like film and film related topics. It's another thing to try to make a romantic relationship out of it.
Ugh, who's got time for that? I have too much work to do.
Yep.
I mean, literally, like,
True.
I feel like that's the difference in people of, like, where you're setting your goals and what you're working towards versus what someone else is worried about, which is their sexual health, which is not my priority. That is not my priority.
It's not.
I'm sorry,
Clearly theirs,
and
but-
don't do it with people I know, okay?
Right.
Like, don't stalk and harass people I know, okay?
Ugh.
Moving on.
Anyway, it's fine.
Producers. Kat, that's been a fun one for you. Maybe I should let you do that one.
I don't know. It showed me what not to do. So if anything, that was extreme. I mean, I feel like it's a no-brainer. Be professional. Have communication. Don't fall off the bandwagon and disappear. And...
But when you have a gut feeling about somebody, you may not be wrong.
Well, Krystal and I had a really big gut feeling towards the end of this person's employment with us, and our guts were right, and it was proven to us within days.
We found out this person had embezzled from another company.
Oh my gosh.
The law was looking for this person. Even with a background check, it didn't matter. We didn't know. It wasn't there.
Yeah.
And then we were like, wow, we just really dodged a bullet.
I was just thinking that in my head.
Were you?
That's literally, I was just, okay, anyway. Yeah, not fun.
Yeah.
Not fun. But that
anyway,
one was really quick.
even with the title of producer, someone may not always be knowing what they're doing and, just be careful. I feel like that's an asset though with me, is I'm always involved in everything with this. You know that with the company. That's why I taught myself to do editing and post-production. I'm like literally involved in every single step. So if someone's raising a red flag to me with how they're doing something or what they're doing, I can step in and say, no, I know every part of this company and you're not doing this right. I can tell. So that was a good lesson. But once again, just a lesson, and we have to keep moving. Music composers.
Yes.
Are flaky.
Really bad. I don't know.
We didn't know this.
So I really was kind of shocked about this because it wasn't just one.
It's
like
like
had to
10.
let go. It was like multiple. And coming from music production and being a musician and a performer,
You have a degree in musicality.
never had this issue. Never struggled with being lazy. Never struggled with deadlines. Because it's a passion. It's an art. You know, you really are passionate about it. And I was really kind of shocked, honestly, about that aspect of it. Just because you wouldn't think it would really be that difficult.
Well, you think if you give someone an opportunity to have a platform for them to showcase their artistic work,
Right.
they would grab it.
Right.
And get paid for it. They would be like, oh my God, it's like the break I've been waiting for.
Yeah.
Because we are particular when it comes to musicality and compositions and whatnot. But yeah, we've had a couple of really good ones. One was overseas.
Yep.
Who fell off too. One was a personal contact you had that fell off. And it must be a musical composer thing. I'm wondering if they are like artistic savants in a way, and they psych themselves out because of their
what it seemed
musicality,
like.
and they get nervous, like this isn't going to be good enough and I can't submit anything.
Yeah.
That's the feeling I get.
That's what it felt like, for sure. I feel like our last one, which was the one overseas, was more of a financial... You know what I mean? We were kind of put last type of scenario, and they just kind of fell off. But whatever. The show must go on. We've just got to keep going.
Yep.
And that's that.
And not the end of the world.
No!
When one door shuts, another opportunity opens, and it's not the end of the earth. Thank God, Chanel, you didn't have to deal with any of that. Lucky you. Chanel's like, that wasn't my problem. How do we do number 7?
We don't.
We don't. Number 7 is...
I'm curious.
No, wait. Let me word this because I'm scared Cat will word vomit.
Second to last.
I don't care if people date in my company each other because I feel like you work at work. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you work at work, which is a lot. No, I don't care if you date in the company. Like, you meet people at work,
right,
you know?
Right.
But I feel like when your goal is more to date someone at work versus do your job, that's the concern I have. Does that make sense? So yeah, we had an issue there, and that's all. That was the lesson.
That was that. We're going to end that chapter.
Yeah, it sucks because, you know, I'm the kind of person I like to give people second, third, fourth, fifth chances, and I feel like I need to really stop doing that because I've been burned one too many times. I believe in people changing because, you know, Krystal that started in production in 2011 versus now is a completely different person. So I believe in people, and I believe that they can change, like, for the better.
Right.
So I give them too many chances, and I get burnt.
Right.
So let's work on that, boo. Let's work on that. Number 8 is a fun one. It's a recent one. Okay, so... this is a multiple lesson here, and this isn't just one person in particular, okay? We recently had to cut ties with Amy, so just to let everybody know that. She did speak about it on public, on the record. So I think I feel like I just need to go ahead and address this. There's no hard feelings on this side. I don't have any hard feelings.
All of this that's being discussed regarding past lessons and past employees is strictly for the opportunity for you guys to see how this production experience goes. Some of you are in film, some of you are in paranormal, maybe you want to do your own paranormal documentary, and this is all a learning experience. This is coming strictly from a constructive point. We wish all these people the best, absolutely. So nobody think that this is a personal vendetta or that we're attacking anybody. You know,
I don't hate a single person
No, and like we're not bringing up names too because you know it is what it is. You just got to keep going and wish them the best.
I've said forever that, and Chanel knows this because I've told her this from the beginning, a production company is like an engineering team. Literally, you're engineering different things, right? Chanel's camera tech, you're a producer, I'm the EP. And if you have to have all of the right pieces running like a train, and if one wheel falls off, the train can't go. So you either have to fix it without that wheel or find another wheel for the train, and then it keeps moving. Think about Jeff and Ben. We've all just, as my editors and my audio editors, you just keep moving. So yeah, Amy posted on social media that she was with Ghost Girl Diaries for 2 years. She was not with us for 2 years. She was with us for about 1.5 years, a little bit less. She was helping with some social media management, very minimally, right? And that was about it. In the beginning, she was running Discord chats and stuff like that, but we did away with that. And that's about it. I boosted her up for camera tech work and stuff like that. And, you know, this goes into a conversation that I feel like we've had lots of lessons about, which is people have to be open to constructive criticism, right? And that's all of us, and you guys too, right? Because the three of us sitting here, we've all screwed up, haven't we? On set, on the production, we've all screwed up. None of us are perfect, right? Chanel, are you perfect?
Of course not.
Of course not. She rolls her eyes. I'm definitely not perfect. And, you know, when there's an issue that comes up, you know, what kind of manager am I? How do I deal with it when an issue comes up?
I mean, Krystal's always been really open when it comes to communication, but the best way to handle anything, and is how Krystal handles it, is to just rip the Band-Aid. Discuss it up front, write out all the things that, you know, are kind of some flags or warnings or lessons for you to learn down the line of let's not do this next time. And it's great. You know, I would much appreciate that up front and forward than letting it sit for a week or two and then have the discussion, which happens a lot in a lot of businesses. A lot of managers don't feel
well,
the
and
need
my
to,
answer is always, what are we going to do to fix it?
Right, absolutely.
Right, here's the problems, and now how do we fix it? How do we prevent this from happening again? I'm not going to micromanage and, like, leave sticky notes where I'm like, I hate you, you did this wrong. Like, you know, like, I'm the kind where I'm like, this is what I see that is an issue, and this is should not be happening. And how can we fix it and prevent it from happening again? And we've had a few people that do not like the constructive criticism part, which I feel like in life you have to have constructive criticism.
Yeah,
I get constructive criticism from you guys.
Yep. And I feel like even with all of these employees, these different employees that left or are no longer with us, you know, I feel like that's part of their journey as well. You know, people will take constructive criticism depending on where you're at in your journey, and self-love and self-work. And if you take that as a personal vendetta, then, you know, maybe you weren't meant to be on this path right now. Maybe you need to do some more work on your end. You know what I mean? To figure that out. But she was the one that decided to take a step back.
Yep.
And we said, okay, absolutely. So just to clear the air there regarding that. You know, there's no hard feelings. It is what it is, but there was some definite lessons there. It was kind of, I personally was a little shocked, honestly, based off of the response. But again, it's about the journey. You learn of everything. You learn about different people, different personalities, different intentions.
But the problem was sponsorships. And you know, a sponsorship for a film company is a huge thing. Like, essentially, the first thing you do as a film company is you ask for either financial support, which we have not asked for that. We have asked for specific equipment for filming and for things that we need. And it has literally asked Kat, she's the only one doing the budget with me. It has totaled up to hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of sponsorships because film company, it's a lot of money. And if someone is doing something on social media publicly to jeopardize sponsorships, I'm going to be unhappy about it. You bet.
No matter how minimal the person thinks it might be, you have to think ahead and think that you, because you're a part of Ghost Girl Diaries, you are an extension of this company. Anything you post, anything you say publicly can and will be used against you. It will.
Kat sounds like a producer.
It's so true, though. Like, it is so true. And, you know, to have this conversation over and over again with people, and to have these people that did stay with us this long, to have seen people leave because of this, and not take that lesson for them to use.
But time out. I have discussed this with you guys, meaning that when you get signed with a network or a production company, whatever you do, there are some scary ass lawyers involved.
Yeah.
I've told you guys this.
Yeah.
Chanel knows. She's been signed to different series and she knows. And these lawyers will literally fine tooth comb go through all of your public social media, every single thing. And if there's something they don't like, they will tell you they don't like it and they want to know why it was posted. And there's a possibility that they're going to make you go back to 2001. And how do you scroll back that far and delete that one single post?
Right.
And, or whatever. Or if they don't like it and it's too many red flags, they're not going to sign the whole series. So I don't want to be affected by it either.
Right.
So yeah, there's been rules with social media that are established with people before they're even signed. But yeah, that's one big no-no that I don't have a lot of tolerance for is when you have diarrhea mouth on social media in a very wrong way. I have a problem with it.
Yeah.
And thank God Kat and some of our other crew is always on top of watching for it. But I will give a warning. Where's Chanel going?
I was like, where are you going, Shanae?
I give
Where'd
a
you
warning,
go?
and then if that doesn't work, then people don't like warnings. That's been a big thing is if I see something on social media that I don't like, people have a problem with that.
Yeah. Well, and to be clear, a warning doesn't mean you're being fired.
No.
And that's how it was taken in our response to the Amy situation. So it's unfortunate. And I had personal discussion with her regarding social media. We need to be really clear. And it just stinks. It's
just another lesson.
Yeah.
It's just another. But we don't want. Kat, Chanel, and I, and Blake obviously included, have put the most work out of anybody involved. And the four of us do not want to be affected by someone else on the chain because they couldn't think ahead. So, of course, we're going to become very defensive and protective of our baby peacock Ghost Girl Diaries. And if somebody goes to affect it, we're going to get upset, right?
Baby peacock.
Don't abuse the peacock. Leave it alone. Leave the peacock
Call it
alone.
a penguin. It's fine.
What's another one? Okay, let's see. That's the big lessons.
I think that's it.
Gut feelings. Yep, that's good. Oh, my big one.
Yes.
My biggest lesson is probably, thank you for the bits, Laura. Shout out to
Hey,
Laura.
how's it going, Laura?
I worked for these horribly mean executive producers. Right? Seriously, I've told you guys stories, like horror stories, right?
Krista's been through hell and back.
So I worked for these horrible EPs, okay? And I'm starting to understand where they come from.
It's all coming to fruition
It just
now.
came full circle. Like, literally, 2011 to 2019, it's full circle.
Yeah.
And my full circle is, I realize now, at the time, I was, mid-20-something, and I'm like, God, this guy is so mean to everybody. Like, why is he so mean? And then in the back of my head, it's always, I would never be mean to my employees like that. And now I realize doing this for 10 years, he has no F's to give. He has no F's in his basket left, and he's just like, I'm done, move on to the next one. I feel like we're starting to get to that point.
We are. It's getting quicker and quicker.
But it's good.
It is
because
good.
you have to close the door and move on to the next
You need to have the boundaries, which is what was also put on our list as
And
well.
I still won't be mean. Neither of us are mean. Kat and I like to give people the benefit of the doubt. Communicate it out. Let's talk about how we can fix the problem. But a lot of people don't. The hardest thing is they don't want to own up to they could have done something wrong.
Right.
And I guess that's hard. Self-reflection. Do you think that is?
But that's them, not you.
Right. No, but
You
it
know
is.
what I
It's
mean?
self-reflection for them to say, I am perfect.
I will not.
I will
listen.
not
That's pretty
change, and
much.
I will not do anything differently because I did nothing wrong. And that's sad for their benefit, I guess, because we all have to grow and evolve. Okay, the next one. So that's topic 1. Topic 1's done.
Done. Check.
Yay. Anything else you want to add, Shanae, to that? Nope. You're good to go? You're like,
Pretty much covered.
Okay. Second topic is people wanted me to talk about Zach's new location that he purchased. I was going to do a stream with this guy named Sean that I met who is a employee of Zach's at the museum. But Sean got so nervous he was going to get fired about talking about it.
Oh, yes. Yep.
Whatever.
I roll. It's fine.
It was okay.
Everything's fine.
So he said, I don't want to do it. I'm afraid I'll get fired. What if Zach gets mad at me, he says? And I'm like, then I'll tell him to just calm
Chill
down.
out.
But, and I don't want to talk about, like, address, but I did drive you guys by it. You guys saw the other location that he purchased in Vegas, and he minimally did talk about it on social media. It's a old motel, I guess. Old, definitely.
Old.
And he invited a small group of people to come down to investigate at it. And this was on New Year's Eve, right? New Year's Eve. And I just ripped Kat's earpiece out.
I'm done talking. It's okay.
Fine. Kat's
no,
done.
it's fine. No, it's fine.
I ripped your earpiece out. Sorry about that. The location, so it was a very small group of people, and it was very haunted. Yes, we got a lot of evidence. I ended up taking a bunch of ghost gear down there. I guess the highlight of the night for me, which I did tell you and Chanel about this, was... Well, wait, first of all, Zach was like, I'm there at the location. He's like, don't tell anybody that you're here. Don't tell anybody you're here. Right. I don't want anybody to know.
Right.
And the next day I wake up to a tweet. And he's like, thanks, Krystal, for coming. And I was like... You just wanted to be the first one to say
that
it,
is hilarious.
Okay? Selfish.
That is hilarious.
So when I got down there, Zach was like, "There's somebody I want you to, investigate with. I want to see how your energy goes with this person." And I was like,
God.
"Is it the bad one?"
Yep.
I was like, So I was like, "Okay, all right." And I obviously am like have no idea what I'm doing, and so I took a couple of I think I had the PSB 7 with me and like a tri-field meter.
We met him at Zach's museum.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Chanel nailed a nail into his head, remember? Specifically.
Look at the eye roll.
Wow, that was a huge eye roll.
Yes.
There's a magician at Zach's museum, and I don't even remember his name. That's not me being rude. I've been editing for 2 weeks.
Best.
It's probably the best.
Say their name 3 times, they come back. So
he definitely would just peer. Okay?
Yeah, he would.
So I walk in this room, and Zach introduces me to this guy, and I've seen him before. He works at the museum, and I look at Zach, and I was like, so why do you want me to, investigate this guy? And he's like, well, he's a Satanist.
And this is pleasant for you to watch. Why?
Well, and he ended up, dipping out. Because Zach's like, I just can't investigate it with him. He's like, because he's kind of dark. And I was like, okay, so he's too dark for you. Right. But you're going to make me go. Okay, that's fine.
My God.
So, this guy's not a musician. A magician. Jesus. He's a magician at the museum, or whatever you call it. Maybe a freak show performer. I don't know.
Right.
And, he identifies openly as a Satanist. And I'm so obnoxious, though, because I know what a Satanist is,
right.
And there's 2 different Satanists. There's the kind that are we just don't abide by rules, I just do what I want, it's free love and peace and, hippie love. And then the other kind is, the summoning kind, okay?
Blood.
And the blood sacrifice.
Right.
So I'm sitting there, and I'm like, I was kind of being snurdy, because I'm like, so what kind of Satanist are you, bro? You want to talk about it?
Colorado comes out, bro.
Dude. I was being, and he could tell I was being a little bit snotty, know? And he was like, and I was like, go ahead, you gonna summon a demon on me? What you gonna do, So we're sitting in there, Chanel. And there was a lot of dark stuff happening in there, and I think his girlfriend was there that night. She was sitting in the corner, really quiet, and she looked normal, by the way. She didn't look like what you would think.
She looked normal.
Well, he looks like he's definitely on the edge of that dark witchcraft thing.
Right.
I thought it could have been worse, maybe hoodoo voodoo or
right.
something. But his girlfriend was very kind of plain, and she's sitting in the corner, creeping me out. Worse than him.
She's lingering.
She's
in the
got
corner.
she's got her head down and her arms open, and she's like,
ugh.
I just feel something around me. And I'm like,
great.
Oh my God.
Great.
And so we're sitting in there. It was just the 3 of us. Zach left. He left me. He shut the door and left me. I was like, great. So I'm sitting in
Chanel's
there.
mason jar.
We needed about 12. Actually, we needed
really?
a dozen. Yeah.
Jeez.
Maybe even to put him in one. You
know
what I mean?
God.
So we're in there, and all these really horrible, dark voices start coming through, And I literally just remember looking at him Are these attached to you? Because I don't think it's the property.
I'd probably be telling her to put her damn arms down and be like, stop it.
She was like,
This is you.
there's something around me. And I'm just like,
Ugh.
so, the energy was weird in there. To be honest, I don't think the energy that I experienced in that room was from the location. I think it was from him. So anyway, shout out to him. Very strange person. Do I ever want to investigate with him again?
Shout out to
Absolutely
whoever you are.
not.
I don't remember you, but it's you.
Yeah, I don't want to investigate with you ever again. That's the last time I'm going to investigate willingly with a Satanist. You know what I mean? Like,
what was really willingly?
I just feel like sometimes you have to put your foot down. You know what I mean? Like,
put your cross down.
Actually, I should have brought. That's
water.
Wrong. I should have brought the cross. That's what I didn't do.
Gosh.
So that was fun. So then
Woo.
I got really. I remember. I think I texted Zach. I said I'm leaving that room.
My God.
So I left the room and then I went and Zach just had me bounce around with some other people in different rooms, and that's when I met Sean. So Sean I think he's a tour guide at the Haunted Museum. I follow him on Instagram. He spells it Sean. So if you're looking for him, look for him on my Instagram that I follow. He's a burlesque dancer as well. He's the cutest guy. He's so sweet. He's very talented, very artistic. Does lots of artsy stuff, like very artsy, like... Do you remember did you guys ever see the movie She's All That? And they do that, like, the pantomime of, like, the dramatic... He does that stuff.
That's so cool.
So, anyway, he's a really cool dude. So, Sean was in here, and I had all my equipment, and we had all kinds of activity in that room. Seems like there were a lot of murders that took place at this location. It's not totally on the strip. It's kind of tucked away off of the strip. And really creepy, dark stuff. Like, we found evidence of a man hiding in the closet saying he didn't want to come out because he murdered someone and he felt guilty, so he's kind of put himself in purgatory and like staying in the closet. So it was, and Sean's like, I'll go in there. I'm just going to go in there and close the door.
God.
He went in and shut the door in the closet. We got apparitions on the SLS cam.
Wow.
So it was really good. So yeah, that location there's a 2-level part, and Zach said that he's going to be turning it into like another museum. So it's really cool. I think it is within walking distance from the other museum. Don't quote me on that because I didn't try it. There was a pool. He filled it up with gravel.
Yeah.
Jay was falling in the pool of gravel.
Great.
Yeah,
that's
there
cute.
was what's his name? Bacon was there.
Oh.
Bacon was there. Strange little guy too.
Yeah. A beard.
Yeah. That was it. So yeah, it's very haunted. It'll be cool when he opens that. I think he's gonna be. He bought the Sharon Tate house or whatever, like the family house, whatever in LA. So I think he's going to be investing in multiple locations across the United States, possibly. And that's not. He didn't tell me that, so nobody like tweet at him. Okay, he didn't tell me that. That's me guessing.
Right.
That he's going to own haunted locations. So anyway, that's that. That's the tea.
Okay.
And you're going to work
I'm
now.
going to go to work now.
She's done. Kat's
Bye.
like, I have to work. She came to Vegas to work, literally.
I did. I got my whole spot up. This is my 3rd cup of coffee today. I'm ready to go, and it's only 2 o'clock.
Yay.
So we're just going to keep on going.
Keep it going.
I'll be modding. See you later.
Oh, wait a second.
What?
One more little chat. What did you guys think about the pilot so far? You can't talk about specifics, obviously.
Excited.
You have rested bitch face all over the place.
Because I'm trying not to like spill anything.
No,
I'm trying to think of
in the pilot, you have rested bitch face all over the place.
I think even me explaining it. Yes, I did.
Kat had some attitude. She's a little chip on her shoulder.
Again? I get it. Okay. You know what? It's fine. I was just
empathing the ghost.
I was being affected, okay? Let's just say that. I was very sassy.
You were. Chanel was like, does your asthma usually kick up? And Kat's like, no, it doesn't.
It's like, rare. This full cat mode. Literally. But no, really, though. Like, this place was really, like, oppressive.
It was full of Satanists.
It was very crazy and sorry.
Yeah, it was.
Sorry.
But we got a lot of evidence.
We did. It was
Ridiculous.
pretty amazing.
So much that we can't even post it all.
Yeah.
There's so much evidence
cool.
we can't even talk about all of it. Okay, Chanel, what did you think about the pilot with your staring off into the distance with your facial expressions?
We love you. Just come to Vegas.
She's like, I can't right now. I just need to compose myself. No, Chanel, you are very intuitive, is what we have learned, right? Extremely intuitive.
Yeah.
And you do not trust yourself.
Right.
Right.
Chanel literally sees things manifesting in front of her and does not call it out. She just looks, and I think she's like maybe that wasn't something.
She could literally be looking at it.
No, she was.
And and it was just like,
I'm sitting here editing and I'm
say
like,
something.
Say something, Chanel. Say something. But you were probably, is it that typical of questioning yourself, like, maybe it's not this?
Yeah, and I think it's, I mean, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I think it's a mixture of, like, just confidence situation and also just being sure that it's something and not calling out something when it's not something.
Like my asthma. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I got real sassy.
Cat, when I was editing, guys, I was dying laughing.
Just cracking up.
Sitting here, like, I would send them little clips of videos, and all you could hear was me laughing, like, literally. So I have a couple lessons myself, which is I'm not allowed to wear Demonia combat boots anymore. One. Because my Demonia combat boots are so loud walking through Investigates, like clomp, clomp, clomp. The other lesson is no one's ever allowed to wear turtlenecks.
No turtlenecks. No more turtlenecks. Gosh.
And that's because Krystal is a floating head in the pilot. Just the head. Just an apparition face.
It adds to the paranormal aesthetic, okay? It's fine. We're trying to embody these spirits.
Lord, have mercy on my soul.
It's the
okay.
Yeah, it's fine.
All right, so that's it.
I stopped myself. I almost just spoiled the thing.
I almost spoiled it.
No, I'm going to go. I need to stop drinking coffee.
I almost just ruined my NDA and got fired, but
I'm going to go. Okay, bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Okay, now Chanel and I get to have a chat about, I don't know, Illuminati demons, I guess. Bye, Kat. She's literally just going to be behind us. She's not even going anywhere. She's just standing behind us. Chanel, while I'm setting up to move to one person, where did your obsession for the Illuminati start? Or have you always had one?
Yes. Yeah. No, I've always been, so I guess it's just, sorry, there's a cat next to me, so I'm not just like reaching out to nothing.
An apparition.
Anyway, I guess it goes along with being interested in the paranormal, and it just kind of tied together paranormal and conspiracy sort of thing. So yeah, I was pretty young when I actually started reading about Illuminati topics.
See, and I didn't really start reading about it till not too long ago. I'm looking for the notes that you sent me here. Where are they? Here they are. So what triggered this topic was we were watching a Netflix mini docu-series. We've all seen most of it. I haven't finished it yet, but it's called The Family. And that one's more of a... I mean, the Illuminati is considered religious-based, but we're not going to get into, like, the religious aspects of it. We're going to get into the conspiracy part of it. I'm more, like, into the celebrity part, just because I find it interesting. Basically, they think the Illuminati has been developed in the 1700s, and it could have possibly branched out into several different branches of the Illuminati. They also think that the Illuminati is something that has triggered other secret societies to conform, right? So, like, obviously, I guess you could kind of say it's like different belief systems. So if someone believes in the Illuminati, now we're going to make up like the Freemasons and blah, blah, and all this other stuff. Which you can get into a really dark place with this, right, Chanel? Like, you've gone to a dark hole researching this, haven't you?
Yes. Many times. Yes.
I mean, and it can creep you out. I've had nightmares after I've researched this. Like,
Yeah, it's creepy stuff, and it's stuff that I think that makes people wonder, and there are different theories, there's different beliefs, there's different people who think that, like, certain things, to where if you were just a regular person reading about it, you'd be like, there's no way that that's something that's going on in this world. Mm-hmm. But like I've always said, I think that our reality is a little bit stranger than what people think, and that's slowly coming to light, I think.
Well, paranormal speaking, from a paranormal standpoint, we've all seen some really strange stuff, and we swear we met, an extraterrestrial while we were filming, the pilot. So I feel like if that is possible, anything could be possible, right? Like, not to make anybody like weird and paranoid about it, but so the Illuminati, it started in Germany. Right. They think it started in Germany, right? I want you to just blurb out the first few facts of development of Illuminati, because I know you're really into this more than I am, and then we'll kind of branch off from there.
Okay.
Phil,
you wanted me to...
Yeah, well, then they created, like, the Order of the Temple, the Freemasons. Can you hear me?
Yeah. I didn't know if you, like, went away for a second. I couldn't hear you. But anyway, no. So you want me to just brief...
Yeah, just talk about, like, the basics of, like, the Illuminati, of, like, the very beginnings of Illuminati stuff.
Okay, so I have my notes here, so that's why I'm looking down a little bit. So it's a name given to several groups who, like, both real and fictitious. So the name usually refers to the very Illuminati, and it's an Enlightenment era secret society founded, I think it was like May 1st, 1776, or something of the nature. And the other groups that have branched out away from specifically the term Illuminati, these are, I guess you could say, the different groups with the different belief systems. There's like the Skull and Bone Society, which was started in the 1830s, the Bilderberg Group. Of course, obviously, we don't know if the Illuminati of today is really having ties to the Illuminati back then. There's Scientology, the Order of the Temple, which was famed by Lester Crowley, the Freemasons, the Elders of Zion, Knights Templar. But I think, some of this Illuminati thing, people, when they hear it, they just think about, like, the celebrities and all of those stories. But I think the word itself, I think it's really important to note that literally just means people claiming to possess special knowledge or enlightenment of something. So it's not necessarily a bad thing.
So the term Illuminati basically means, like, I have knowledge and I'm trying to enlighten people around me or societies to follow my knowledge or believe in my knowledge.
To put plainly, if you knew something if you knew a lot of information about something that, say, Kat or I didn't, you could essentially call yourself an Illuminati or an illuminated one.
Right.
So,
which was a German term, right? That's where it started. It was a German term. Right. So it's interesting because in this topic, Blake and I've had deep conversations about the Illuminati before too. He was in the military for 6 years. He was in the army, and he was a medic. So when you're a medic, you treat a lot of people. Oddly, I was shocked to find out that there is a ton of military personnel that identify as Freemasons. And Blake does not, by the way. He does not identify as anything like that. But basically the Freemasons sort of believe in like the law and like regulating the law, and like there's obviously more to that, but the Illuminati just feel like they're, I guess you could call them the quote woke ones, right? Which are, they have the knowledge and like the way to save the future or progress the future. But there's so many conspiracies that are behind it, which is the part that I like about it, just because it's creepy and weird. So celebrities accused of Illuminati stuff, there's a lot. Two that I want to talk about are, I know, and there's conspiracies behind this too, because I feel like not all of these people are actually a part of the Illuminati. I feel like sometimes they just want to make an uproar to make people talk about it. Don't you think? Like by adding symbols in their music videos or whatever, or like hand signals, right? Whatever. So you have a list of Nicki Minaj, Jay-Z, Beyonce, Kanye West, the Kardashians, Obama, Britney Spears, Eminem, Cardi B, Justin Timberlake, Madonna, and the two that I had researched were Michael Jackson and Whitney Houston. Okay, and how do you tell someone's part of the Illuminati? Well, usually with musical performers, they will add, like, what is it, the pyramid, triangles, and the eye. Gestures, signals, or like icons in their music videos, right? And that's where I think people just do that to make the conversation go somewhere, don't you think?
Yeah, I also think that there is a level of being directed to do those things. So not necessarily that they're doing them to send a message like, hey, I'm in the Illuminati, this is how you can tell.
Right, this
I
thing,
think it's also
or the eye, yeah.
They're being directed to do those things by the person obviously directing the music video or whatever it is that is being created. Mm-hmm. So, but I don't necessarily think that the gestures and like the hand signs and symbols and signals are like point blank period, they're in the Illuminati.
Yeah, me neither, yeah.
I think that it's that, yeah.
Well, and then the devil's horn thing is like this, right? Where you like hold up the devil horn. And that's, so there's so many different things, there's so many different belief systems of the Illuminati. Some people think they're like satanic worshipers. Some people believe that the secret society is ran by alien life forms. So like the main men holding like the reins or cards are like alien life forms. Then you can branch off into a political topic that we're not going to get into, which is global warming, right? So some people think that the Illuminati started global warming and it doesn't exist, but they started that to divert people from what's really going on in the world to worry about something else. And then other groups of people say, no, global warming exists. Yes, the Illuminati started it because they're trying to save the world. So once again, you can have all these different like triangles of belief systems depending on who goes in what direction, what you believe. Now, the satanic stuff. One thing I have ran into over and over with the Illuminati, and I think you did too, because Chanel and I chatted about this before the stream like a week ago. One thing that I always seem to see in like people discussing this is human sacrifices. Do you see that same information?
Yeah.
Yeah. So does that mean they're satanic? I don't know. I mean, anyway.
Well, it's really, I mean, I think that there are levels of that kind of thing going on, because you have to think, though, too, you know, whenever you hear something like that, like when the general population hears, like, oh, your favorite celebrities might be sacrificing children and animals for their success and fame, you have to think back to, like, times where sacrificing people actually happens, you know? So it's not something that's necessarily unheard of. I mean, it doesn't make it right, obviously.
Well, no, it's not. But you're saying that they've carried on their past belief systems to modern times, is what you're saying. And they haven't muted those. Right. And with the sacrifices, what I've seen too, it's not even necessarily animal sacrifices. It's like these people that are involved. So I don't know, let's say Beyonce. When she agrees to be a part of the Illuminati, she also has to somehow allow certain people in her life, such as family, to be considered sacrifices. We've read that too. You read that as well, right? So, like, oftentimes people that are supposedly associated with the Illuminati, you will hear their family members have died of, like, strange, uncertain events, and then people tie that immediately to an Illuminati sacrifice, right?
Right.
Sometimes even the celebrities themselves, which is something that's interesting that I want to talk about, the part that I like, because we have a lot of different things we can kind of jump into. Chanel even gives an example of an Eminem song, which is kind of cool. But when I was researching the Illuminati, two things came up when I was reading about it. One was Whitney Houston, and one was Michael Jackson. So the belief of the conspiracy, and once again, these are just conspiracies. Let's just kind of dive in, because it's, you know, I feel like you have to consider it if you're, like, researching it. The conspiracy behind the Michael Jackson one is, yes, he was a pedophile. So in exchange for being a voice for the Illuminati was allowing him to have access to children as a pedophile. Whatever you believe in Michael Jackson, if he was or wasn't, isn't the point here. Let's talk about the conspiracy itself, okay? Basically, what ends up happening is they've given him access to children as a pedophile, and eventually he knows too much on the Illuminati side. So they're exchanging him to have access to children, which is his, like, wants and desires, in exchange for money, power, fame, and to be able to speak for the Illuminati against things that we do not want as a society and things we believe in as a society. Yes, it can be political. Sometimes it's not political, right? So then what happens is he ends up becoming too big, in the world in general as, like, a superstar. And now he's been caught as a pedophile for whatever reason. Now what they have to do is they have to get rid of him because he knows too much. So the conspiracy behind that is that the doctor was paid off to actually overdose him and kill him in his sleep. The same sort of theme goes with Whitney Houston. Once again, just conspiracies. I'm not saying this did or did not happen. Whitney Houston is a druggie. She knows too much. They are giving her unlimited access to the drugs that she needs. Once again, much like Michael Jackson's addiction to pedophilia. And she knows too much, and they decide that she is now going to become an Illuminati sacrifice, and she is murdered by making it look like she drowned in the bathtub. So those are the conspiracies that go along with... Look, somebody just wants to talk about Michael Jackson being a pedo. I just said critically think for a minute. This isn't about if you agree or not agree. This is about the conspiracy. So just hold yourself back there, boo. Okay? Let's go back to the conspiracy here. Okay? When nobody knows if he was a pedo or not. Were you in his castle? I wasn't. Therefore, I can't speak on it. Anyways, and I doubt you were there. So let's keep moving on. Cat's laughing. Okay, so you were into Eminem's song, which is My Darling. The lyrics are, and the dark shall emerge from the fiery depths of hell and swallow the shallow and hollow who dwell in the shadows of all who are willing to sell their souls for this rap game, and it goes. So what's your opinion on those lyrics?
I didn't know you had such bars, Krystal.
Oh, thank you. I'm Taylor Swift in the flesh. Just kidding.
Sorry, what was your question?
Just, what's your opinion on those lyrics? What do you think that represents as far as the conspiracy?
I think it's really interesting that these celebrities continuously use the term sell your soul. I know that people say they're just using that term as a metaphor for the industry because it feels like all of their time is taken up with, creating these songs, writing these lyrics, recording this music, acting, whatever it is that they're doing. So saying selling your soul just means that they constantly are working, not necessarily that they've actually been in some sort of ritual to sell their soul to the devil for fame and, money.
And Dr. Dre has had some lyrics too that have had similar sayings in it. They think Dr. Dre is a part of it. So basically, essentially, what is claimed with this Illuminati is all of these stars become so big and so famous with money and power in exchange for the Illuminati, which are these major families that are behind like the financial wealth and gain of being able to pay for these stars to get big. So they know people in media and they give them boosts. Lady Gaga is supposedly a part of it too, right? So in order to make her a big star, they will do everything necessary to push their content and their media as big as they can in order to become like someone on a pedestal to be able to speak out against the issues for or against the Illuminati, right? Like what the Illuminati represents. And then in exchange, they say they, quote, sold their soul to the devil. Because now here's another thing we should probably chat about too, because with this conspiracy, you can go a lot of different directions. That's why I want you guys to critically think about the topic at hand, because the conspiracy of the Illuminati is a lot deeper than just wondering if Michael's a pedo, okay? Let's just not worry about that right now. He's not here anyway. Whoever's on the other side is worrying about, you know, dealing with his debt from Earth. So let's not be the ones that do it. You know, so the Illuminati supposedly comes to you, right? Have you read that? That when they want you to represent them, they approach you. Is that what you read about? Yeah, me too.
An offer you can't refuse. Mm-hmm.
An offer you can't refuse. That's what I have read over and over again. Should we talk about what I found on Instagram? Because it creeped you out, didn't it?
Yeah, let's do it.
That was super creepy. So when Chanel and I decided to do this topic, I was like, let's talk about how we find, like, and by the way, I do not necessarily want to be recruited for the Illuminati, okay? Like, I'm kind of good with that. That and aliens can just go chill by themselves, okay? But I told Chanel, how do you find, like, how you become a part of the Illuminati, or, like, how you get recruited to be a part of the Illuminati? And I'm thinking, okay, it's modern day. We have email, we have internet, we have Google, but what's even more, like, fast moving, like, which is social media, right? It moves at the speed of light. So I get on Instagram. I creeped Chanel out so bad with this, okay? I get on Instagram one night, by the way, which was about 1 in the morning. Shouldn't have done it. Should not have done it at 1 a.m. You know what I'm saying? I should not have done that. I type in hashtag Illuminati, okay? Because I think, you know, Twitter moves fast and Facebook moves fast, but Instagram is like the speed of lightning, you know? I find all these posts of people that have tagged Illuminati. So some of them are, you know, people talking about the Illuminati. Some of them are conspiracy posts, you know, there's all kinds of different things. And as I keep scrolling down, there is a man popping up that has his own account, and he has posted on like every single post of hashtag Illuminati. I told Chanel I should have taken a screenshot of it. I don't know why I did. I think I was so, once again, you go down that rabbit hole of conspiracy, you forget, you know, you just start going down and you don't think about what you're doing. So I find this guy who has a profile, a well-developed profile, who has commented on every post that says hashtag Illuminati. And what he is posting is he's literally copying and pasting the same thing that says something like, if, you know, I saw your hashtag about the Illuminati. If you're interested in joining the Illuminati, contact me at this number on WhatsApp. So that's like another downloadable app, okay? And literally this guy is just going through posting the same thing. So then I decide, well, this is creepy, because now he's, you know, I found someone admittedly saying he's trying to recruit people for the Illuminati. So I go to his page, which is public. Once again, I don't have the page. You probably can find it again. But once again, it was about 1 a.m., you know, West Coast time. So maybe that's the time. I don't know. Maybe that's the time to do it. So I go to his page. It's a well-developed page. And the creepy part is he has photos that he's had sent to him from different car dealerships. And it's a person standing in the same side. So he claims he requests a photo of them with these brand new cars. There was like Audis and Mercedes and BMWs and every Land Rovers, all these really, really expensive cars. And they're standing by these cars and they're taking this picture smiling. And under the caption, and he's disabled comments, but they have likes. They have about 150 likes to each post. It says, after they have agreed to be a part of the Illuminati, this is the very first gift that we send them, which is a brand new paid-for car. And the only request we have is for them to take a picture standing on the, I don't remember if it was the right or left side of them standing with their new car. And I creeped Chanel out. So then, after I find this guy's page, and I've gone through this, and there's all these posts, there wasn't just a couple, it was like a few hundred. And all of the people are standing the same way in the car lot. And which this makes sense to you, Chanel, because it did to me, right? They always say they give you an offer you can't refuse, and oftentimes it starts with some really big thank you gift for joining the Illuminati. And in this case, it would be like these really expensive schmancy cars. Now, obviously, to try to debunk this, which I don't have time to do it, maybe somebody out there wants to, would be to take a picture of a couple of these people and reverse search it on Google image search and see if it pops up on somebody else's Instagram stream, right? That would be the only option. But I had gone through, and when he was posting these on these different comments, some people would say, oh yeah, I'm really excited, I'm contacting you, and he'd be like, thank you, so excited to do business with you, like really weird, professional. Then I went back and looked at some other posts where I had seen earlier, and the post had disappeared from their page. Really weird. Really. You did? You found Kat's like, I'm researching now.
So they have
Uh-oh, she found it. She already found it.
So they have a Twitter that is verified. It looks like, called Illuminatium.
Okay.
On Twitter. They did post back in March of this year. They said, be wary of imposters. The Illuminati does not use WhatsApp, Skype, Messenger, or any other communication app unless it is listed at, and then they provide a website link. Anyone who claims to represent us on other platforms is not authorized by our organization. There are no exceptions.
So, but there is an official Illuminati account.
There is.
That's
and
even
it's
creepier.
Verified. People are even posting like their signed contracts.
Ew.
I
don't know about that.
Bad, but this is the.
I got Chanel's face.
I don't know if you can see that, but that's the Twitter.
Ew, can I see it really quick?
Yeah.
Oh, it's a Twitter account. Wow. So it's at Illuminatium, however you pronounce that. They have about 100,000 followers, and they're following 4. Who are they following? And it says they're out of Beverly Hills, California. Wow.
Oh, wow.
Well, that's creepier. There's a
Okay.
YouTube video. Wonder what that is. I don't think I want to know, actually, to be honest. So anyway, there's some creepy stuff out there. Who knows what's real and what isn't, which is part of the Illuminati. One thing that I told Chanel, though, some of the information you do see, like I was telling Chanel, you had the same feeling. Some of it you feel like it could be accurate, and some of you feel like it's definitely not true. Either way, do you think this could be possible, that this could exist, this like quote secret society, whatever, if it's for good or for bad, whatever it is?
Yeah, I do.
I do too.
I do, because I think that there's a lot that the general population doesn't know. And I think that if these are like groups that do know some sort of knowledge, or whatever, I think anything is possible, really, at this point. I don't know. Yeah.
I'm looking up the richest families in the world, because those are the people that are supposedly partially behind the Illuminati.
Yes. So there's 13 bloodlines of these families, these elite families, that are supposed to be the people who have created these different groups and these different, basically these are the people who essentially run the world. And it goes so deep down to numerology. So 13 is, everybody thinks that it's an unlucky number, it's an evil number, but really it isn't, because if you understood numerology, you would know. But they also use numbers like 33, because you have like 33rd degree Masons, 22, 11, they're power numbers. So, sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm just looking through. So the Astor family is one. I've heard that, I think the Queen Elizabeth is supposedly behind another. I think you've heard that as well.
Yes. I've heard multiple stories about her.
Yeah, we've all heard stories. Yeah. They're reptilians, supposedly, or something.
Yeah. I don't feel like being...
That would be something I'd like to see. Somebody transform into a reptile, is all I'm saying. Cat, no.
Well, we almost did.
Yeah, that one woman, that was really fun. That was a lot of fun. This is like a book. Somebody literally wrote like a few books on the Illuminati. Anyway, it can get so dark and like it can get weird. It can take some dark corners. I don't know if I want to go that far down because I'm one of those. I'm not the biggest conspiracy theorist in a way of I don't have the time to research, which I feel like that's most people, you know? And I feel like that sometimes when you get into conspiracies, it can get scary and dark and freak people out because nobody wants to think of rich people or anybody having control over you, right? Or society of what you're doing. So I think when that thought comes in, it scares people so bad that they just shut the idea down. I mean, and I'm even the same way. I'm the same way when it comes to that. But the conspiracies behind it are interesting because some of the belief systems they have are actually related back to like satanic stuff, right? Chanel, you did research on that.
Yeah. Yes. It's
the
so,
monarch
like,
butterfly is a huge thing, right? The monarch butterfly represents the transformation of like change and like quote becoming woke or whatever. Is that right?
Yeah. So the monarch butterfly also relates to. I don't know if you want to go into this, but
I don't know either. I don't know either.
It relates to control, essentially.
It relates to what?
Mind control.
Oh, that's right. We did talk about this. Yep.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
Also, you have the black and white as well. The black and white symbolism, which represents duality.
Which, by the way, I wear a lot of black and white, so don't just think that I'm Illuminati because of my wardrobe, okay?
So it's the monarch butterfly. Sorry, what?
Black and white representing, like I said, a lot of my wardrobe is black and white. I don't want anybody getting any ideas.
So black and white, monarch butterfly, which represents transformation. Egyptian references too, which necessarily evil, because a lot of these conspiracies relate to these people being evil, right? Because we're talking about sacrificing, we're talking about satanic things. But Satanism, there's different, like you had mentioned previously, there's different beliefs even within Satanism. There's different, sections. I don't even know what the word that I wanted to use, but there's not just the Satanism as I'm going to go and sacrifice this thing to this deity so that I can get what I want. What was the question you asked me?
Just like the whole black and white thing, like the different conspiracies behind different symbols. And I like what you said because a lot of times they claim that there's Egyptian symbols that are used with the Illuminati, and people automatically assume that it means like something dark and bad, but not necessarily. Just the Egyptian culture and society itself is so old too,
Going back to the symbolism as well, with like the one eye symbolism in the videos or in pictures, that is people say representing of the Eye of Horus. The Eye of Horus is Egyptian. Horus is an Egyptian symbol, and Egyptian symbols are not evil inherently. I think, if I remember correctly, if like the different, okay, so the hand over, like for example, the left eye, the right eye is like the eye of God, so like the right hand of God, right? Mm-hmm. The left eye is representing of wisdom or knowledge,
or that freedom from
superior
knowledge.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So I thought that was really interesting as far as like which, you know what I mean? So, and also the OK symbol, where what I think is the OK symbol, but other people think represents 666. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing too, is I was looking at some of these symbols and I was like, who knows if they're really incorporated or not? And I feel like some people just accidentally use these symbols. There were things in there that I saw the symbols that sometimes I'm just using in conversation and communication. Like,
Right.
Why are you going
The
automatically
only
to part
one
of
that
Illuminati? Go ahead, sorry.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't know. We're going to start going down rabbit hole. It's deep. But if you're curious, the Family is a really good docuseries to watch. It's on Netflix. It's a different version of like a different group. The guy supposedly that's the author of the book, it's a book, The Family. He lived in the house of these people that are like doing this kind of religious based thing. I would love to talk about it on the channel, but that one is a lot more religious based than the Illuminati is, where to me the Illuminati is more about conspiracies. So I don't. Yeah, and supposedly a lot of people can't come out and talk about the Illuminati publicly because they will make you, quote, disappear, right? You've read about that too. So that was why all these people have just started like making up like notions or like facts about the Illuminati. No one can speak out against them or they'll disappear. But this guy, this is another on The Family. He lived in this like house of where it was developed. It's really good. It's a good series. So anyway, Chanel and I like conspiracies once in a while. She gets way deeper in the conspiracies than I do. Do you think so you think that this could exist?
The like secret societies?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Or the Illuminati specifically?
Well, no, just secret societies, but who knows specifically what's the truth and what isn't the truth?
Right. I 100% think that there are secret societies or people that like have knowledge of things of this world that we don't.
Right.
You know? And that's like, it doesn't necessarily mean these people are evil for having this knowledge. It just means that there's knowledge that, well, I mean, I don't know.
No, I know. Well, that's because you're going down the conspiracy thing. No, but that's part of the conspiracy, right? Is you and I were on the phone for like 2 hours, and we literally started. You can branch off to so many different directions, and that's where it gets so confusing. And you don't know what's true and what isn't true, and so the only way you can go with is kind of your gut instinct and saying, like, as you're reading about it, if I were a part of this or if I was involved in this, this is what I would believe. And then that's kind of the direction you want to go. Because I don't think anybody wants to go down, like, the darker side of it. Somebody asked what was the series called I was talking about on Netflix. It's called The Family. And it's a conspiracy sort of docu-series. And there's a book on it as well that I'm gonna get the book and read about it because it's creepy and weird. It's interesting, though, because The Family, it's more politically based and more religious based, but they have referenced every single president of the United States to the family since like the 70s. So it'll shock you when you watch it. So I don't know. I like weird stuff like that, though. I like the conspiracies and stuff when, especially, they can like show it factually, and they have people talking about it on television, and they're able to reference those, like each president. It was really cool. It was really good. So anyway, awesome job, Chanel. Illuminati. Really creepy stuff. It can get dark. My brain hurt. Does your brain hurt after you research it? My brain just starts to hurt.
Oh my god. Yes, it's a sensory overload, you know.
And I feel like I'd just rather go talk to dead people in like a haunted house. I feel like that's a lot easier than like conspiracies, you know. Oh my gosh. Well, thanks guys for tuning in. Thank you for coming on, Shanae. Thanks, Kat.
Welcome.
Kat's working. I love how she just like quietly went and researched it back there. Shanae started a Twitch channel too. What's your Twitch channel, Chanel?
That's a good question. Let me just go ahead and look at that because I'm a horrible Twitcher.
Yep. While we are on the road filming, they will be using their Twitch channels for different things. So Twitch.
Well, mine is Chanel. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Okay. Mine is Chanel R. Sherry. It's all lowercase.
Mm-hmm. Uh-oh. The Illuminati choked me for talking about them. Just kidding.
Oh, no.
Oh, man. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'm in post-production for the weekend, so Kat is in Vegas helping me work. She's behind me working right now. Thank you guys for tuning in. Hopefully next week we'll sort of normalize out finally for everything. I'm ready to get past post-production. If you don't hear from me for a few days on social media, it's probably because I'm in a deep sleep, like hibernating like a bear and dying, like just totally asleep for a few days. So thank you guys for everything. Make sure you subscribe to our channels. Make sure you follow us on social media. And as always, we will catch you guys next time. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye.